Got to keep it all together now. Got to keep it so.
Well, we are here, DVTV, at the Cathedral of Hope with Nic Arnzen and James Brandon, co-producers of Corpus Christi. Nic and James just got in from LA last night, and they're getting ready to put on the production here this weekend. And so, Nic and James, tell me why you're looking forward to finally staging this play in Texas where it's set.
You know, I think we've been eager to stage it in Texas for a long time. We probably talked about it 4 years ago when we just began, that it would be fascinating to bring it to the state that it's set in. The climate just seemed right, particularly somebody reached out to Brandon. You can tell him about John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Ott, who's the director of the Tarleton State University. Obviously, everyone knows that hubbub that was created around that. You know, he found us somehow just because I think we've been doing it for so long. I think our company is associated with the show a lot more now, and I think he just needed to reach out to someone who's been doing it and has done it in maybe more contentious areas as we have to a degree. Just for some support, really, just to say, you know, this is what's going on with me. How can you help? What can you tell us to keep us going? Because it's hard. And we were just grateful that we could do what we could. I mean, we were in the middle of our own tour at the time, but we were just happy just to be able to say, this show's about love. Keep holding the space of love with your cast, and just keep telling the story, because people will fight you. But if you keep holding that space of love, nothing will penetrate it. So that was what we were able to offer, and it was a gift to be able to talk to him. And in turn, that's why we're here, because it just made sense along the path to come in response to what had happened. We wanted to be able to say, well, here's what it's really about, and this is what we're going to show you.
Things just keep presenting themselves, and we made an agreement a long time ago not to force anything to happen, that things will present themselves. And we've had Texas on our mind for a while, and this year it just seemed like it was the right time to come, and we're thrilled to be here. I have to admit, you know, I hadn't been to Texas, and I was hesitant. I didn't know how we'd be received, but we embraced the thought that this show has a protection around it. I mean, whatever we're bringing to it, whatever it's bringing to us, we feel protected and we feel safe. And that's exactly what we're presented with now. Here we are in Texas. There's no big protests. You know, just after that controversy, we're just rolling on in, and it's being certainly embraced by the Cathedral of Hope. But the community has been wonderful. The community was incredible for John. You know, you look at the news coverage where they say, they come down on these kids, they come down against the play. It just makes Texas look like this homophobic state of censorship, and that is not the case. Out of that, you've got to embrace the positive. John received tons of support. His students received tons of support. You only hear about that negative. The truth is, the positive is all we're seeing, and we love it, and we're just thrilled to be here.
At the same time, have you ever seen a situation quite like this one where the governor and the lieutenant governor of a state have seemingly meddled in this dramatic production? I mean, is that hard for you to believe that this would happen, even after all your years of performing this thing all over the world?
I have to say, I was really appalled by it, because I get where they were coming from in a way. I mean, what I loved is how the Tarleton University, please say, am I saying that right? Tarleton State. Their position was really, I thought, admirable. I mean, they weren't emotionally connected to it. They were saying, this is a constitutional right. This is what we're allowing the student to do. We can't get involved in that way. And then then it just escalated, and it just became kind of not only appalling, but just ridiculous, really. Like he's speaking for all of the taxpayers who say that they don't believe in this. Well, that's not true, number one. And number two is, when I put out a statement, when we as a company put out a statement that this is blatant censorship and homophobia, you know, the response that I got to that was like, well, and in addition to that, I had put the quote in, judge not lest ye be judged. And in response to that, people were saying I was judging for calling it censorship, for calling it homophobia, but that's exactly what it was. I'm just naming it for what it is, and people can't don't want to name it for that. They want to throw that stuff under the rug and not deal with it, but that's what it is. When you don't know anything about a play and you say that this is what it's about, and then you blame it on that, and then you cancel it for that reason, that is censorship, that is homophobia. Because if you really were to know the play, if you really were to read it, if you really were to see it, you would see it is nothing that anybody out there that, protested or says it's controversial or anything is.
It seems like, as with most censorship, the vast majority of people who are criticizing the play have never read it or seen it. Hopefully they'll all come out this weekend
Yes,
and see it.
Well, hopefully.
But for those people, it's become known in the media as the gay Jesus play. That's what they think of it as, the gay Jesus play. What is this play really about? What is the real message?
Why? And he knows my simple answer. It's love.
It's love.
The play is about love. It's what we all want. It's what we all tend to judge. It's, it's just about love and the freedom to love, and for me.
And yes, that's simply put, absolutely it. And I think it's really simply an every man's journey into faith, into the essence of what faith is, of every faith, which is love. And it's a journey to that. I mean, Jesus went through his own spiritual journey. If you were to read any part of the Bible, you see that. I mean, he grew up just like every other person was growing up and went through his own life experience. Whether you believe he was alive or not, it doesn't matter. It's about bringing everybody to that place of connection to him, which is that everybody has that potential of pure divine love. And what does that journey mean for each individual person? The truth is, too, it's like, I've said this before, too. I think if people just hear gay Jesus play without really looking into it, what that means, I absolutely can see from their perspective how that would be controversial, how that would kind of be hurtful even. Only to the degree that it makes it sound like a mockery. It makes it sound like this camp, kind of crazy, weird experience. Not that I feel that that's associated with the word gay at all, but I think if people from that perspective just see that on a piece of paper and have a very spiritual, deep connection to who they think Jesus is and attach something else to it, it brings up that kind of element of,
That's a great point. Like, they think it's a spoof. And you know why, I think?
Yeah.
Because they think, of course gay men are going to attack Jesus. And you know why they think that? Is because they know how cruel religion can be to gay men and women.
Right.
So they immediately connect. So there we get to the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is not that they're presenting Jesus in a different light. The heart of the matter is that they think homosexual men and women aren't worthy of a deity, aren't worthy of that kind of love.
Well, and needless to say, Jesus also faced his share of controversy, much like
absolutely
you guys. But we do have an invitation now for David Dewhurst and or Rick Perry to come, right?
Please, I would love
that.
The
I would
Lieutenant
welcome
Governor to
them.
come, please. Be our guest, and we will honor you as much as we can. Have you on the front seat right here next to me.
Well, I mean, and anybody who represents that point of view. I believe in my heart that they are open to hear words like this. Even if they don't walk away agreeing with it, I think that's a great showing. We do it every day. We have to face a straight world every day.
Do you know, honestly, absolutely. And I think, honestly, what we have been wanting is to be able to have dialogues with people. We're not here, we don't have any sort of agenda. We're not trying to, promote anything except for one simple thing, which is love. That's it. And we're not judging anybody for what they're saying about this, against this play. Absolutely. I mean, I'm speaking just from a passionate love for what I have of this play, but I have nothing against anybody who has anything to say against this play at all. And in fact, I would love for them to come see this play and then dialogue with me about it, because until then, there's nothing informed about what they're saying, and that's what's frustrating. Until you actually read it or see it, there's nothing that you can really protest against. And that's why we invite anybody who is against this play to please come. We would love to have you.
First time ever in Texas. Corpus Christi, Terrence McNally, Nic Arnzen, James Brandon.
Who plays Joshua.
Who plays Joshua.
Yeah.
See you,
Thank you very
Chandler.
much for joining us.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it,
much.
And good luck this weekend.
Yes, we'll see you this weekend.